Hello and welcome to episode 92 of the Tennis Podcast. I am your one and only host, Nick Amell.
You're not the only host.
I'm the only one at the host level.
Oh, well then I'm your only sidekick host, Brandon.
Brandon, this is episode 92. Even more importantly than that is that when this is posted live in real time, it will be July 1st, I think. Yes,
Okay.
July 1st, 2020, which means the 4th of July is right around the corner, right?
I was thinking about it earlier today, thinking how we could hide from the fireworks noise with dogs and babies.
Fireworks suck. Let's just be honest.
They've definitely lost their luster as I've gotten older.
When you've seen one firework, you've seen them all. I'm just going to tell you. Spoiler.
I've seen a lot of fireworks in my day, yeah.
Well, I did forget to say how the show works, so real quick, if you're new, either myself or Brandon each week bring a new top 10-ish list, and the other tries to guess it without knowing what that list is ahead of time. And the reason I bring up the 4th of July, which is America's birthday, God bless America. God bless America. God damn. Do we need to take a minute to pray?
He's blessing us really hard right now.
What's the most American thing you can think of, Brandon?
Baseball and apple pie.
Tourism.
Oh, tourism. Okay.
American tourism. And I thought this was especially a good time since most of us are not engaging in tourism at the moment,
No.
thanks to that mean old virus.
There are some kind of touristy type things you can do at like parks and stuff near you.
It's true.
Yes, you're not going to the Empire.
You're not going to the places we're going to be talking about today.
No.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about, in celebration of America's birthday, coming up this weekend, we're going to be talking about the most visited tourist attractions in America.
Okay.
How does that rub you? Does it rub you good? Does it feel good?
Well, first of all, it rubs me unwantedly. I didn't want it to rub me.
Interesting take.
I just wanted it to sit down next to me. That's it. I have all kinds of questions in order to, to qualify my guesses.
Sure.
There's tons of different places to visit in, did you say the United States or North America?
United States of America.
Okay. Counting everything like...
Let me just tell you what it counts. So, first of all, my sources here are businessinsider.com and thetravel.com. They had two very good articles about this. Their methodology here is to, well, first of all, let me tell you what is a tourist attraction.
Yeah, that's a good...
Wikipedia says a tourist attraction is a place of interest where tourists visit, typically for its inherent or an exhibited natural or cultural value, historical significance, natural or built beauty, offering leisure and amusement. But today specifically, we're going to be looking at what businessinsider.com and thetravel.com said, which is, to determine these rankings, the most visited tourist attractions in America, we have gathered the most recent data supplied by the attractions themselves or from government agencies, industry reports, and reputable media outlets. Our definition of tourist attractions include natural, cultural, and historic sites, as well as recognized areas of limited geographic scope like the Las Vegas Strip. So that would eliminate national parkways since they spread over very extensive distances.
Okay, so something like the Las Vegas Strip would be included or would not?
Yes, it would be.
Okay.
Basically, anything you would think of as a tourist attraction is included.
Okay.
Pretty much everything's fair game here. One more note about the methodology is in the case of big transportation hubs that bring in both travelers and locals, they focused as much as possible on visitor data and excluded those that were strictly commuting.
Right.
You know, what's that train station in New York?
Grand Central Station.
Yeah, there's another one.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, yeah, you'll see what I mean when we go later. So yeah, in summary, we're looking at pretty much any tourist attraction. Really nothing's off limits. We're looking at the United States only, and it's ranked by the number of annual visitors, excluding, when possible, commuters.
Okay.
Isn't this a great... Can you think of any better way to celebrate America's birthday?
And none of these are like world's largest ground rodent.
They could be.
Calf with 5 legs. Is there a calf with 5 legs on there?
Do you think that would be in the top 10, Brandon?
I'm trying to rule out the ones that certainly wouldn't be.
Okay.
The world's largest toilet. The largest cross in the Northern Hemisphere. I've seen that
Do you
one.
think that fucking blue whale in Oklahoma is in the top 10?
No.
What's it called?
Just the big blue whale. It's in Catoosa. It's in the port of Catoosa. If you Google search
Yes.
for Catoosa blue whale, this is a very short drive from our homes, but if you wanted to stalk us and kill us, that's where you would start, at that blue whale.
I've never been there.
I took my kid, I think it was last summer, maybe the summer before, and he was so disappointed. He's pretty easy to impress, and he was shockingly disappointed. Dejected, I would say.
Is there nothing else to do there besides look at this stupid ass blue whale?
No, and it is in clear disrepair. Like, as soon as you're pulling up, you realize, oh, I shouldn't even walk on that thing. We went and saw a submarine right after that, and it perked him right up. The day was saved by a submarine.
Yeah, I need to go see that submarine too. I haven't done any of this shit.
Okay.
We are boring people with our Oklahoma tourism. They are not in the top 10.
In the top 10, I am going to guess Mount Rushmore.
No.
What about the Grand Canyon?
No. Kind of surprising, huh?
Holy shit, yes. How about the Bunny Ranch? The sex worker ranch in Nevada? I'm guessing no. Not in the top 10.
Do you want me to answer? Or
Statue of Liberty.
no.
What the hell? Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes, finally he gets one. The Golden Gate Bridge.
I thought
And this
those
is what I
were
was
good
talking about.
guesses so far. At least
No, they were. Not the Bunny Farm or whatever the hell. Bunny Ranch. The Golden Gate Bridge is number 8, and this is what I was trying to say earlier in the methodology, where they're ranking this based on the people that visit the Golden Gate Bridge, not the people that drive through it on their way to work.
Can you imagine how annoyed you would be if you had to take the Golden Gate Bridge to and from work every day, and every day it was just a new batch of yokels showing up with their mouths open going, golly gee, I can't believe how big this bridge is.
Let's shoot some fireworks off
It's
it.
so big and red. And it's just, you don't even see it anymore. You don't even see the bridge anymore. You just see these idiots.
And the traffic is always awful.
Yeah. You have the Tanner family driving across it.
Well, we're going to talk about the Tanner family.
Oh,
The
okay.
Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco is number 8. It attracts about 15 million tourists every year. Now, for each attraction, I'm going to tell you the main features of the attraction. Why would one want to go there? So the Golden Gate Bridge, here's the quote from one of those sources I said earlier.
Uh-huh.
You can gaze toward this luminous orange suspension bridge from the hills to the north, just after sunset when bay and sky turn indigo and the skyline beyond glows like alabaster. Then you'll understand its popularity with bikers, joyriders, pedestrians, and yes, drivers.
Fucking slow down, Walt Whitman.
Does that make you want to go?
Yeah, I'm in love with it now.
In more recent years, the Golden Gate Bridge has launched guided tours and an expanded visitor center with a green screen photo op that makes it look like as if you're climbing the bridge's lofty cables. Are you booking your flight yet?
You could do that anywhere. You don't have to go to the Golden Gate Bridge for that. You could just open a store in Tulsa, Oklahoma that did that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't you dare diminish the Golden State Bridge.
Do you, the ad for that company is just like, you want to look like an asshole just from Tulsa? You can come do this. You want to climb the Golden Gate Bridge? You want to stick to the World Trade Center like Spider-Man? We can do it all.
Well, you said that the slogan is like, if you want to look like an asshole, come to this Tulsa attraction.
Right.
I think the Trump rally's already got that cornered, am I right?
Not for very many people.
Not from very many people, no. We did survive the Trump rally.
Yeah.
One more note on the Golden Gate Bridge is it is one of the most iconic images in all of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Most people in the country instantly think of San Francisco when seeing it. The bridge is even recognized globally for pop culture reasons, as it was part of the credits for the 90s hit sitcom Full House. Everywhere you go, everywhere you look, something, something, something.
Uh-huh.
That's the Golden Gate Bridge. The thing I just said, I took that straight from BusinessInsider.com, the song.
Is the Liberty Bell on the list?
No, that's a good guess. I didn't even think about that one. No, it's not on there.
How about Plymouth Rock?
Another good guess. No.
I've heard it's really disappointing too. It's not even a very big rock. How about the Hollywood sign?
Man, you are knocking these guesses out of the park. These are all stuff I had not thought of but they are not in the top 10. The Hollywood sign I understand, though, because I'll bet if this was a list of like the tourist attractions with the most photos taken of it, it might be on there. But,
Right.
you know, most people don't visit the
You
Hollywood
can't go
sign. It's
up
off
to
in the
it.
distance.
Yeah. What about the Empire State Building?
No.
What the fuck? I'm scratching off a ton of guesses.
Think more shallow. Think of more shallow things.
Disney World?
Disney World. Number 6.
Okay. I didn't realize that we could count these kinds of things. Disney, you said be as broad as I wanted to, didn't you?
I did.
Disney World. The whole world.
Well, technically,
of
no.
Disney.
It's technically Disney Magic Kingdom, which is in
Okay.
Disney World.
Okay.
You were supposed to be at the Magic Kingdom around this time, but COVID canceled that, didn't it?
Yeah, I was actually supposed to be holding hands with Mickey Mouse right now.
Yeah. Maybe copping a feel.
That's been put off for less pandemic days.
No, now you're here with me.
Holding hands with you.
It's almost as good. This is kind of like a ride. We are going up and down.
You are a cartoon.
Well, Disney's Magic Kingdom in Orlando, Florida, it's part of the Disney World Park. It has 17 million annual visitors. It is a theme park with 6 different themed areas full of rides and entertainment for people of all ages. And almost any Disney landmark will attract a crowd, but Magic Kingdom has become the most popular one in the U.S., so there's a hint. There's nothing higher than this, theme park-wise.
Oh, nuts.
Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, Jungle Cruise, and Pirates of the Caribbean are some of the most memorable rides that people bring in. Now, and you were talking about holding hands with Mickey Mouse. You can't forget about the Disney Character Parade down Main Street, USA, at the Magic Kingdom.
I wouldn't know. Didn't get to see it.
Have you never been?
I've been once as a young grown-up, and I did not see that particular...
Young grown-up.
Well, I was 23, so I was an adult, but I wasn't old enough to be going with kids, and it was kind of a weird in-between. It was with a work thing.
Yeah, and I think Walt Disney the man had just opened the park, right?
Yeah. That was my work thing. I was opening the park.
Okay, so last thing on Disney World is that you should listen to episode 78 from our archives where we covered
Fucking smooth.
the segments of the Disney company, their most revenue generating business segments. Theme parks is not number 1. Spoiler alert. So that's number 6, the Magic Kingdom in Disney. God damn, I'm feeling so patriotic right now. God bless America. This is better than fireworks. Instead of fireworks, I urge everyone out there listening to go inside, close the door, close the windows, sit down in your favorite lazy boy and just play this podcast episode again instead of fireworks.
Or do literally anything other than make loud explosive noises. How about Old Faithful?
No.
Graceland.
See, I had written down a list of surprising omissions.
I wrote down.
I don't have any of these.
I've written down a bunch of bad guesses over here. How about the San Diego Zoo?
So no, but San Diego Zoo is part of Balboa Park,
Yes.
which is number 11.
Okay.
Number 11, Balboa Park, San
So
Diego.
still no. How
Still
about
no.
Sea World?
Okay, so let me get this straight. Mount Rushmore, Statue of Liberty, Grand Canyon, Empire State Building, no. SeaWorld, yes. Is that the logic we're following?
I don't know. It might be. A lot of people love those big fish.
No SeaWorld.
Hey, what about Central Park?
Yes, now you're getting somewhere. Central Park, where do you think it is?
Number 4.
2.
Oh.
Central Park is number 2 with 40 million annual visitors. So if you're paying attention, number 6, which is the next highest you've guessed, is Disney's Magic Kingdom in Florida. It has 17 million. 17 million visitors. Number 2, Central Park, 40 million. What can you tell us about Central Park, Brandon?
We narrowly missed getting stabbed there one night.
It's true. So Brandon and I were on a work trip. This is in the dead of winter. It was cold as hell, and we walked through Central Park to get to a movie theater to watch fucking Star Wars, because that's what we do on work trips. And it was at night, and we made it.
It was romantic.
Took a lot of retaining of combined body heat to get us through that night, am I right?
Yeah.
But we did make it, and we found out the next day on the news that someone was fucking stabbed right there in the area we walked through, like within, I don't know, maybe like within the hour of when we were there. So that's Central Park.
It's probably a body heat sharing gone wrong.
Well, I think what attracted the killer was he had some like body heat. What are those called? Like how the Predator sees? You know how like it...
infrared? Heat vision?
I don't know. Heat vision, that's it.
Yeah.
So he was looking from a tall place to a tall building trying to find a victim, and he saw a huge collection of body heat.
A writhing
That was
mass.
us. But by the time he got there, we were gone, and he found someone else to stab.
He was so frustrated he stabbed somebody.
He thought we were a big, like, the Moby Dick of stab
The Archie blows.
victims. Because we were such a giant mass.
He jumped down with a knife in his teeth.
Well, Central
Wouldn't that
Park, I'm going to
scare
tell
you?
you the features. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. Hold on Central Park. You know, you see pirates in movies. They jump. They either swing on a rope or they jump and
Yes.
dive into the water with a knife between their teeth to keep their hands free.
Yes, because they're swinging on a rope.
Wouldn't that scare the shit out of you to hold a sharp knife in your teeth and then go jump, like go dive into the water head first? What if you lost that knife and it just sliced your face up?
I think that's like number 28 on a pirate's list of daily things to be concerned about.
I guess this is why I'm not a pirate. I don't have
This is why you're not a pirate.
I'm not cut out of pirate cloth.
No.
Everyone is jumping into the water with a knife in their teeth, and I'm like, I don't think can I just hold mine in my hand? Can I just do this?
Are they jumping in the water, though?
Yeah, I always see them jump off. Jump into the water, like diving in. You know, hands in front of head,
Yes.
but with the knife in their teeth. That's something that used to be in more movies than it is now.
Yeah, when's the last pirate movie you saw, not counting Pirates of the Caribbean?
Mutiny on the Bounty.
Is that a real thing?
Yes, it's a movie.
What is it?
It's an old movie. It might be black and white.
Okay. This is great. I'm going to tell you about Central Park now.
Okay.
And you can walk, skip, skate, ride a bike, row a boat, or ride in a horse-drawn carriage. And it doesn't say this, but you can also sit, instead of a horse-drawn carriage, how about a man-drawn carriage where you're pulled in a rickshaw?
Uh-huh.
What a stupid-ass idea. Why is anybody doing that anymore? Is that still a thing?
It feels wrong.
It does. It
feels like the laziest thing in the world. You're literally resting on someone else's direct energy. Their feet, their muscles is pulling them and your lazy ass.
But I would understand it if there were no horses available.
Right.
If there were no horse-drawn carriages to pull your lazy ass around. But there are. In
Or
fact,
electric
there's
scooters.
a trillion of them. Or electric scooters now, yes. There's so many options now that a man-drawn carriage / rickshaw, I don't support it.
I think it's
Sorry.
if you want to feel like you own a person for a short period of time.
It's true. Yeah. Okay, so more about Central Park. You can admire the views from the 19th century Belvedere Castle, check out the modest-sized zoo, or join the fans who gather to pay quiet tribute to John Lennon at Strawberry Fields. Have you ever been at Strawberry Fields, and would you consider it a quiet tribute?
I think I attempted to pay quiet tribute, but there were too many fucking nerds doing Instagram photos on top of the was it a mural? What do you call it when it's like a thing?
I don't know.
Little tile.
Memorial. Well, I was distracted by the 28, fucking food trucks right there, ruining any sort of vibe.
Get your John Lennon hot dogs here.
Yeah, right there is like a whole bunch of Beatles, people painting Beatles
Hawking
paintings and
stuff.
statues and, hawking stuff. I hate people who hawking stuff. By the way, remind me to tell you about our Patreon later. Also near Central Park is the Museum of Natural History and the Met and a bunch of other shit. And it is a very cool place because if you've never been, if you're one of the not 40 million people a year that go there, it's this huge green park with tons of outdoor activities and water and trees and squirrels right in the middle of this concrete jungle, the chaos of New York City. So yeah, Central Park. Number 2. By the way,
Tell me by the way.
well, we were talking about hawking shit. I might as well hawk shit.
Hawk. Ha!
I'm going to read you a few did you knows.
Okay.
You know the answers to these, okay? So these are rhetorical questions for the listener, not for you.
Okay.
I want to ask you, did you know that the Dr. Phil show is hosted by Dr. Phil, who has not been a practicing psychologist in 15 years?
What?
Brandon, you need to have some sound reactions here, some gasps.
I did. I said, what?
Okay.
What?
Did you know Dr. Phil had a short-lived weight loss program called, and I shit you not, Shape It Up Woo Woo with an exclamation point, and it cost him millions of dollars in court settlements? Did you know Dr. Phil hit a skateboarding kid with his fucking Mercedes in 2017?
Get out of the fucking way.
I guarantee you he was absolutely not empathetic with his
I hit another one of these skate punks with my car.
But while they're exchanging insurance, he explains to him how to download the Dr. Phil app.
I notice you have a smartphone.
Okay, one more did you know. Dr. Phil played, me and Brandon did not know this until recently, but he played at Tulsa University, right down the road from us, played on their football team, and he was on the team when they lost 100-6 in the fucking championship game. Okay, so I'm reading you all this shit because this is the type of relentless Dr. Phil fun facts and hot takes that you can expect in our brand new bonus episode. We're calling it The Life and Times of Dr. Phil. He's a listener of the show, and it's our deep dive analysis into the man himself. It's available to listen to right now exclusively for our Tennish patrons. You can listen now at patreon.com/tennishpod. And when you sign up for just a couple bucks, and it takes like 30 seconds to sign up, you are going to unlock instant access to our Dr. Phil episode, as well as all of our past and future bonus episodes. You'll also get early release on main episodes like this one that you're listening to now. You'll get some free swag and more. You can sign up right now at patreon.com/10ishpod. Please just do it so I can stop giving plugs like this.
I have a handful of guesses that I think are bad, but I would love to be pleasantly surprised by. Okay?
All right.
Roswell, New Mexico.
No.
The French Quarter.
These aren't bad guesses. No.
Gettysburg.
No.
Dollywood.
No.
I guess that also is going to rule out Dog Patch, USA, and Silver Dollar City.
Silver Dollar City, holy shit. If Silver Dollar City beat Central Park, I'd be having a mental meltdown.
How about Six Flags?
No.
Legoland.
No.
Knott's Berry Farm.
No.
The Alamo.
No.
Fuck. Space Needle.
No.
The St. Louis Arch.
No. This is getting rough.
God damn. Oh, shit.
Okay.
Let
me.
The Lincoln Memorial.
No.
Fuck.
Let me help you.
Okay.
Two of the ones on the list are very closely related to two that you've already guessed.
Like another Disney World thing?
So Disneyland in California.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is the original Disney park, is number 7, right behind Disney World.
That makes sense.
Disneyland has 16 million annual visitors on average. Now, what is the biggest selling point of Disneyland, Brandon?
Is it Space Mountain? Splash Mountain?
No.
I don't know.
The rides. The biggest selling point. People with all ages who want to indulge in childhood fun. Its design is so intricate that it turns into a fantasy land for anyone that loves Disney to experience it for the first time.
Oh, I have not been there.
A lot of people say it's better than... So, you know Magic Kingdom, which was the one we talked about in Disney World, where you would have gone. It is based very much so off of Disneyland.
Right.
Disneyland came first. It's the original Disneyland. Walt Disney called it a source of joy and inspiration to all the world. And some of the California rides are better than the Magic Kingdom versions, some say. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, for instance, which is at both parks, but it's nearly twice as long at Disneyland. The Jungle Cruise is also... Is Jungle Cruise a Disneyland exclusive? I don't know. It's different, at least. I don't know if it's at Disneyland.
Have you been to Disneyland?
Yeah, I grew up like 5 minutes from Disneyland, so we always had like season passes.
Spoiled brat.
I've been to Disneyland a bunch, but
On first name basis with Mickey.
Yeah. It's probably been a good 7 or 8 years since I've been there, though. But I went to Disney World 2 years ago. And I was all over Mickey. Mickey and I got real intimate. You should have seen our heat-seeking vision spot.
Your heat map, just this nasty blob of limbs with 2 big old ears sticking off the top.
Well, then why you got to make fun of his ears? That I don't get. That I don't understand.
Mickey does.
That's bullying. You are cyberbullying.
That's his signature thing.
Okay.
He doesn't mind it. He's like Ron Jeremy with his ding dong. He's not gonna. Of course, that's what he wants to be known for. Hey,
Jesus, too hot to handle today.
So far, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 26 incorrect guesses.
Yes. Would you say this is the worst you've ever done on a list on this show?
It's pretty bad, but I just feel like I'm clearly missing some really obvious ones, but I feel like I've named a lot.
There's obvious ones, but there's also some that you might be surprised. Or you will be surprised, for sure.
The Sears Tower.
No. Remember what I said a minute ago?
Oh,
you got Disneyland.
Niagara Falls.
No.
Oh, there's Magic Kingdom, Disneyland, Epcot.
No. It's not a theme park. Number 10 on the list is very similar to another guess that you've gotten, but it's not Disney. So what have you gotten so far? You have number 8.
Got Golden Gate Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge.
No.
The Boston Common.
No. This is close in proximity to the Golden Gate Bridge. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. It's the Golden Gate Park in San Francisco.
Suck my dick. How do those count as different?
Because they are different. They're not right next to each other. I mean, they're very close, but they're not like one on top of the other. I guess the thing is,
if you hit up the bridge, you're right there. I'll hit up the park. That's why it's 10.
Well, maybe, because it also has a bunch of other shit, asshole. Here's the write-up. It says, for the traditionalist or the historian, I think that's you, there's a bison herd that's lived in the park since 1892.
What the devil?
That's cool.
Yeah.
For the technophile, which, by the way, I would be in favor of that word being eliminated from the English language.
That sounds like a fucking pervert. It sounds like someone who'd rape a calculator.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you on that. Or the science fan. Who's a science fan? Doesn't that sound like someone who's
Neil deGrasse Tyson sniffing his own socks is a science fan.
No one is a science fan. You might be a fan of science fiction, or
you're a nerd.
Know, what is yeah.
This sounds like a nerd hotspot.
For the science fan, there's the California Academy of Sciences, which has an indoor rainforest, aquarium, planetarium, and 197,000 square foot living roof, sustaining native plants. For the rest of us, there are over 1,000 acres of gardens, lawns, forests.
For the rest of us, they're chicks.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. There's also a fine art museum, a Japanese tea garden, 2 Dutch windmills, and the Victorian-style Conservatory of Flowers. So there's a ton of shit here. It actually sounds like a cool place, especially if you're a nerd. And the Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, it's number 10. Like I said, it has 13 million visitors annually.
We're running out of attractions.
Well, America, because it's the greatest country on earth, it is stuck full of tourist attractions.
Pearl Harbor? No, it's too hard to get to.
So, number 9, I do not think you'll get, but you were very close with a wrong guess you said earlier.
Arlington National Cemetery.
No. But you're on kind of the right track, because George Washington, Samuel Adams, and Susan B. Anthony are among the honored orators who spoke at this place.
Jim's Brothel. The Jefferson Memorial.
Remember the porn barn we discussed in a prior episode?
KT's Porn Barn.
That's it. That's where George Washington, Susan B. Anthony, they spoke there at the porn barn.
What's the place? Mount Vernon.
No. They spoke here long ago, but it has since been converted into a very modernized shopping area. So it's not going to be a Mount Vernon, like, historical site type place. It's going to be...
like a square.
Yes.
I'll never know.
All right. It is the... I actually don't know how to say it. Faneuil
God damn it.
Hall Marketplace in Boston. Do you know that place?
Spell it.
Faneuil. Faneuil?
Faneuil.
Anyway, you should look at pictures of it. It looks like a very cool place. It's in Boston. Number 9, with 15 million visitors. Now, like I said, some of history's most important players in American history, George Washington, Samuel Adams, Susan B. Anthony, and more, spoke there It was called the Cradle of Liberty, built in 1742.
It's like a pub.
Well, I'll tell you more about it here in a second, but I wanted to take a side note to talk about the fact that America, like the oldest historical sites are what, 1700s, right?
I mean, the oldest buildings would be from the 1600s.
Okay. But you go to Europe or most other countries and they have shit that's thousands
like
of years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, we're just young, stupid idiots.
We are. Okay, so about the Faneuil Hall. It has 3 markets, North, South, and Greek Revival style Quincy, linked by a cobblestoned square now form the marketplace, which has an abundance of buskers and more than 100 shops and specialty push carts selling goods ranging from sunglasses to shoes.
It sounds cute.
Does that interest you? Are you glad that beat Gettysburg and the Empire State Building and Niagara Falls?
I looked it up. It is a big old building.
I saw a picture of like the square part of it, the outside, and it was very cool looking. But it is just the giant, marketplace. The article that I read on this said that it is booming lately and it should grow in popularity over the coming years.
There's no shortage of action going on at our exclusive partners, betonline.ag. Sports are slowly making their way back, and BetOnline is leading the way with the best odds and lines for all UFC, NASCAR, boxing, and soccer matches. If you need even more, they have simulated NFL, NBA, and UFC simulations all day. They said simulations twice. Simulations all day, every day, live on their website. Looking for something else other than sports? BetOnline has hundreds of casino games, poker tournaments, and prop bets to check out. Visit betonline.ag and use promo code BLUEWIRE, that's BLUEWIRE, for a free welcome bonus. BetOnline, your online wagering experts. Would I be doing well for the remaining guesses to stick to some of the most heavily traveled cities? The most populated? Yes. Okay.
100%.
I need to be thinking more about like New York, Los Angeles. I'm trying to think of what else. Wrigley Field.
No.
Columbus Circle. Oh, fucking Times Square.
Times Square. What number?
Number 1.
Number 1. Isn't that fucking nuts? All right. Times Square is number 1. Where is Times Square, Brandon? Topeka? Wasn't it Topeka or was it Catoosa, where the whale is?
It's in Midtown, New York City.
Manhattan, to be exact. Number 1, 42 million visitors annually. And again, remember, this is excluding commuters. This is people that don't live in Midtown Manhattan visiting Times Square. Now, what I find interesting about it is Times Square, number 1. What does it say? That the drawing power of Times Square is the food, the shopping, and the pretty lights, and the relentless in-your-face advertising. That's our number 1 tourist attraction. Now, don't get me wrong. Times Square is not something you need to see more than once, but it is. I feel it's worth going there the first time. It's very cool to see the first time because it's so overwhelming. But it's just crazy to me that has more than the Statue of Liberty, which isn't even in the top 10.
And there's no like character to it. Beyond just the advertisements, it's the largest corporations in the world have stores there.
You could point to the theater district.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You are right, but I'm just saying, like, in its defense.
True. Other than the theaters, there's no like, oh, this is this old bar or what, because things used to be like, in the 70s and 80s, the images of Times Square are all like, there's like XXX stuff everywhere, and there's like,
oh baby,
it's the place to go to get like hookers, hot dogs, and cigarettes.
You're about to say it.
Yeah, hot dogs and all that bad stuff. And then they cleaned it up, and now it's Nike and Disney and the fucking giant M&Ms of the M&M store.
I've been there. Well, yeah, you mentioned the family friendly. That's one of my notes, is that the bright lights from the billboards and the countless shopping options make it stand out to the average eye when going for the first time. It also has the Broadway Theater District, featuring incredible award-winning plays, neon signs, mega stores, street performers, historic theaters. And the note I was going to say is it's becoming more family friendly over the years. But Times Square seems really big when you're there, but it's really only 5 blocks.
It's home to the worst Spider-Man and the worst Batman I've ever seen in person. And I wanted to take their picture ironically, and they still wouldn't let me. Not for free.
Speaking of Mickey Mouse earlier, who was standing out next to Spider-Man and whoever else you said, I was walking through one time and I was trying to take a picture of them for my kids to see. I was there like a year ago or something.
They blocked
and
that.
No, they came up and said, "Oh, we'll take the picture for you." And my dumb, naive ass didn't realize they wanted money for that. I was just like, "Oh, okay." And so they took the picture, and then they held out their hand, and I didn't have any cash on me, and my friend was with me, and all he had was a 20, and he pulled out the 20 and was like, "Oh, sorry, all I have is a 20," and they still held their hand out, like, "Well, fucking hand it over." They are so aggressive about it.
You gotta be.
So yeah, that's Mickey
you have
Mouse
to be
in
more
Times Square.
aggressive than the real Spider-Man. Who was it? Spider-Man?
No, it was Mickey that did that to me.
It's even funnier when it's Mickey stomping his foot.
I think there might have been a Pikachu as well. Oh, were you saying Mickey was be tapping his foot like out of impatience?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, tapping his foot, not stomping. Yeah, there was once this Batman that was so bad. He was, I don't know, he had to have been in his 50s or something. His mouth was like wrinkled up around the opening of the mask.
Okay, Brandon, I have to tell you, the mouth thing's getting weird. I'm just going to tell you.
The Batman mask covers everything except for the mouth. And Batman is like, typically he's young and has like a lantern jaw. He's an athlete and he's got a big chiseled
dick
jaw or chin.
Oh,
This was like an old flabby man, and I'm saying like the costume had his old flabby face around the mouth opening was all kind of poochy and hanging out. And
goddamn,
and
poochy.
The openings around the eyes were large, and in the movies, whoever's playing Batman, they put black makeup around his eyes. So he doesn't look,
right.
You don't see his skin around the eyes and it looks stupid. Well, this guy had his skin showing all around the eyes and he looked stupid. And I wanted to show my kid, I went to take a picture, and he was, the only thing Batman liked about him was how adept he was at using his cape to block cameras. If those would have been like bullets or bad guys' fists, he would have blocked every single one of them like Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
Bruce Wayne.
It was just my iPhone trying to get pictures of him.
If only the real Batman could be as vigilant in fighting crime as this guy was in not getting his photo taken. But he's there to get his photo taken, right? He just wanted you to pay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kid was so young too. I could have just Googled a picture of Batman and just shown it to him and been like, "Look, I saw him on my trip," and my kid would have been like, "I can't believe it."
I have an idea. Instead of doing this podcast the way we've done it for 92 episodes now, where we record it live in real time in the ears of our listeners, how about instead we take our talents to the streets of Times Square, New York? There's 42 million people there every year, and we just shout out our podcast out loud as people walk by.
We'd probably reach more people.
And so this episode we're doing right now, just imagine it in Times Square. But, for someone to listen to the whole thing, they'd have to stop and listen. And instead of a Patreon membership, I just hold out my hand and tap my foot.
And just make them pay you.
I mean, I think we should consider it.
You know what would make it even easier to make somebody pay you? Is I'll have a gun.
It's true. Now you're getting somewhere. And we all know there's no easier place to get a gun than God's country, the United States of America.
I think Times Square used to be the place to get a gun.
Yeah, I feel like Times Square would have been the place you go to buy a gun off the black market, like in a dark alleyway, right?
A 38 special, and then go see a strip dance. How about One World Trade Center?
No. So you just have 3 left.
Uh-huh.
And before we get to those 3, I'm going to tell you some more surprising omissions from the top 20 even, because I have the 11 to 22. Some of these you've already said. St. Louis Arch, Universal Studios, Space Needle in Seattle, the Statue of Liberty, the 9/11 Memorial Museum, and the One World Trade Center, Mount Rushmore, any of the D.C. memorials, Lincoln, Washington, the government buildings, the government museums, none of them in the top 20. The New York City Museum of Natural History, Alamo, Gettysburg, Cloud Gate in Chicago, Grand Canyon, Empire State Building, Graceland, Niagara Falls, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, none of them in the top 20. Now let me tell you 20 through 11.
Okay.
Number 20 is Pier 39 in San Francisco. It's a cool place.
Mm-hmm.
19, I'm kind of surprised this isn't higher. The Mall of America in Minnesota.
That's because it's in Minnesota.
It's the biggest mall in America.
Yeah.
Bryce Canyon National Park in Utah. That one surprised me. It's higher than, the Grand Canyon.
It's a really popular one, yeah.
Navy Pier in Chicago. The Mackinac Bridge in Michigan. South Street Seaport in New York. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Venice Beach in LA. Pike Place Market in Seattle is 12. And 11, we already said, Balboa Park, which is where the San Diego Zoo is in San Diego.
Well, you said Venice Beach, and I had just written down Santa Monica Pier.
No, not in the top 20.
I mean, to be more popular than the Magic Kingdom is quite a feat.
I'll be honest. One of these you should have guessed already. And I'm guessing maybe you didn't because I mentioned it already. And you thought, oh, he wouldn't say that if it's in the top 20.
Well, now it's going to drive me nuts. What was it?
Las Vegas Strip.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have guessed. I assumed it wasn't on there.
Because I said it?
Yep, you ruined it. No,
Yep.
I shouldn't have made that assumption.
All right, fuck it. Let's restart the episode. I'm really sorry about that.
What number is it?
No. Let's start over. I'd really feel better if we started over.
Oh, well, fuck your feelings.
Hello and welcome to the 10ish podcast. My name is Nick Amell.
I'm not doing this. I pumped the brakes.
Come on. We got to... All right, fine. Number 4, Las Vegas Strip in Las Vegas with 30 million annual visitors.
All right, that makes sense.
Now, Brandon, before the pandemic, you were at the Strip, what, every weekend, every other day? You'd book a flight down there?
Yeah, I own that town.
So what can you tell us about the Strip? Tell us about the Strip and try to get through it without mentioning Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
The Las Vegas Strip is home to the largest hotel and casinos, the most extravagant hotel and casinos.
And the largest mass shooting in American history.
Yeah, and the largest mass shooting. I would guess anywhere in the world, but I guess I could be wrong about that. No. I'm not sure. No,
the hotel.
The hotels and casinos. I think they're among the largest and most extravagant in the world. It's where all of America's excesses live. Well, most of them.
Yeah, 2 of them are right here on this pod talking to you.
Yeah, it's where you go to do messed up stuff you can't do somewhere else.
And or go to the casino and just play some slots.
Yeah, or see Carrot Top.
Or do that roller coaster on top. See Carrot Top. Or Britney. My 3-year-old son has been singing Oops, I Did It Again, by the way, by Britney Spears, because his 6-year-old sister has been listening to it. So that's my life right now. The Las Vegas Strip, it is where many casinos are located there for the ideal fun for most people. There are also many entertainment shows, such as Cirque du Soleil, magic shows, concerts. Everyone can find fun on the Vegas Strip. You can take a faux round-the-world tour along this 5-mile strip that counts a pyramid, a sphinx, an Eiffel Tower, an Arc de Triomphe, a Venetian canal, a New York skyline, and a colorful medieval fairy tale castle. This is also where the Bellagio fountains put on the famous nightly light.
Bellagio.
Bellagio. Well, I don't own the town like you. The Strip has evolved beyond bargain-priced buffets to become fine dining destination as well. You know, buffets. We haven't talked about buffets. Are buffets just done?
Buffet and fine dining destination usually don't go hand in hand.
Are buffets canceled because of the pandemic?
I would hope so. Yes.
Like, I'm being serious. It's going to take a long time for me to feel good about eating in a buffet again. I was already a little weary of it before, but yeah.
Yeah, man. Shit's all fucked up.
Shit's all fucked up.
That's what the scientist said.
What scientist said?
Dr. Fauci.
He said buffets are fucked up?
No, he said they asked him. He hasn't been on this coronavirus update. So a reporter scheduled like an interview with him and they said, what's going on now with coronavirus? And he said, our shit's all fucked up.
Yeah, you can quote me on that, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I have one left.
So that's Las Vegas. No, you have 2 left.
2 left, number 3 and number 5.
Yes, and they're both extremely similar. They're like the same thing, but in different places.
Okay. Atlantic City?
Nope. I'll tell you what, I may have ruined your guessing of this one too, because of something I said earlier.
You've been sabotaging me this whole time?
So I told you, I tried to redo this episode. I tried to redo it, people.
The Hollywood Walk of Fame, you said is not?
No.
Okay.
This is a place, well, both of these are places where there's going to be a lot of people that are local as well as tourists coming
Okay.
and going.
Is one of them like a famous intersection in San Francisco?
No.
The corner of First and First in Manhattan, the nexus of the universe.
Nexus of the universe. Yeah.
Are either of them in Manhattan?
Yes.
Okay, let's focus on, are they both in Manhattan?
No, just one. Number 5 is in Manhattan, so let's focus on that.
Okay.
Let me give you a hint. Number 5 connects to number 3.
The Lincoln Tunnel?
No.
The Brooklyn Bridge. George
No.
Washington Bridge.
No. Now think about what I said. Number 3 is not in Manhattan.
Right.
So how could number 3 connect to number 5 if they're not in the same city?
I don't know. You're just going to have to fucking...
Grand Central Terminal in New York City.
I said
number
Grand
5.
Central Station earlier.
No, I did.
You son of a
Or we did.
bitch.
Before, yeah. Are you ready to restart now?
No, I want your mistakes laid bare for the world.
Okay, well, I'll lay my mistakes next to your mistakes any day, Mr. Fuck Up the Recording.
I'm surprised that Grand Central Terminal is a huge tourist destination. What do they have there?
Have you been there?
No.
It's like a giant ass fucking mall. Like huge inside. And, well, I'll tell you. So it's really cool inside, architecturally, artsy-ish.
Mm-hmm.
The stunning Beaux Arts building's teal ceiling is embellished with gold constellations and twinkling lights. Its regal staircase mimic those at the Paris Opera House, while the historic Oyster Bar and Campbell apartment afford discreet people-watching views of visitors bustling across the terminal floor. Every day, 10,000 people come to Grand Central not to catch a train, but to have lunch. Grand Central Terminal has been around for over a century, might be the oldest thing on here, and offers many things aside from just taking the train. There are many high-end restaurants and some cheaper options to enjoy a meal. The fancier restaurants allow you to overlook the busy lower area where everyone's rushing to the trains.
To look down upon all the little ants rushing to get their trains.
Yep.
Snooty pieces of shit.
How much you want to bet these snooty pieces of shit call ping pong table tennis too? I bet you anything.
I could go for a spot of table tennis.
With my Shake Shack. That's number 5, Grand Central. And since we're done with New York City is the only city in the top 10 to have 3 or more tourist attractions. That's why they call it
The Big Apple.
Sin City.
Oh. Is number 3 located...
Sin City's Vegas, by the way. What?
Is number 3 located in Philadelphia?
No.
It said it connects... It's connected to Grand Central Terminal, so you have to be able to take a train
Yep.
from wherever this is to Grand Central.
Philadelphia's very close.
Okay.
The Porn Barn. It's the Porn Barn. Porn Barn connects to Grand Central. It's a little-known secret. Where was the Porn Barn? Isn't it like off the highway between Oklahoma and Texas?
It was off of Interstate 35, just south of the Oklahoma border in Texas.
What would you do if I told you that was number 3? And you thought I was joking, but then I said, no, I'm dead serious. The Porn Barn is number 3. What would your reaction to that be?
I've been missing out. It would be some serious FOMO. That many people have enjoyed the Porn Barn, and I've only joked about it. I'll be calling in sick to work tomorrow. What state is it in? You're going to have to give me that.
It's not in a state.
It's in the District of Columbia.
It's in the District of Columbia.
And it's not any of the...
It's Union Station. It's Union Station in Washington,
God.
D.C.
That's a slap in the face.
Why?
Nobody... You cannot tell me that when people say, I'm going to Washington, D.C., that people are like, people will say, did you just see the Vietnam Memorial? Did you see the Air and Space Museum? Did you see the Smithsonian? Did you go to the Lincoln Memorial? Did you see the White House? Did you see the Washington Monument? They don't say, did you go to Union Station?
The White House, that should have been on here. But by the way, I need to relive about 60 seconds ago when you went, oh. But I'm going to replay it for our listeners because it was that, yeah.
Oh. 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 Oh, 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 oh. Oh.
Well, okay. My best guess here is that it's counting people that are coming into DC as tourists, and they're getting there via
And
Union
they're saying
Station.
like, yeah, oh, so you also saw Union Station. I'm like, yeah, I guess. It's the same
Well,
as
there's shit to do in there too, Brandon. The hub allows people to travel around the Washington area with ease. There are many other things offered in Union Station to make it more than a form of just public transportation. Hundreds of dining options, shopping locations, and a giant food court make it an interesting place to spend some time in between transit. There's even a movie theater that makes it convenient to see a movie whenever one has time.
Yeah, how unique. A place that has a Sbarro and a place where you can see Armageddon.
Armageddon, what the fuck, of all the movies. If you think about the top 10 here, most of the top 10 are centered around shopping and eating places, more so than like historical sites. We'll talk about that in a minute there. Let me tell you one more note about Union Station. It was designed during the age of railroads. It opened in 1907. It is a grand train station built to be a monumental gateway, symbolized by its many arches to America's capital. The Beaux Arts Gem is also a gateway to commerce, with more than 120 shops and eateries, but, Brandon, it also has 36 statues of Roman legionnaires lining the balcony. They were originally nude statues, but
Ew.
concerns that the public would be shocked led to the addition of strategically placed shields
The public would get too horny.
at the statues of Roman legionnaires.
In statues with the Greeks and Romans, they were never very complimentary. They always gave them little tiny gherkin dicks.
Gherkin?
Yeah, you know what a gherkin is? That little tiny mini pickle?
No.
God damn.
This is the first I'm hearing this.
There's fucking so much about the world. For someone...
What is it called?
A gherkin. G-E...
Like G-E-R?
E-R-K-I-N.
No, there's an H after the G.
Oh.
You idiot.
Yeah,
I don't have time to focus on gherkins because I'm researching a top 10-ish list. You should try it sometime.
It's a little teeny tiny pickle.
You know, when you said gherkin, I thought you were talking about the Birkins, which are the bad guys in the first Trolls movie.
Oh, I thought you just said merkin, which is a pubic hair wig.
Is it really?
Yeah, a merkin.
You're teaching me so much today.
Back in the day when it was fashionable to have pubes, but not fashionable for a prostitute to have like crabs or other bugs, or a merkin could also be used to cover the unsightly sores of a sexually transmitted infection. A pubic wig would be used to cover it up.
Hang on, can you go slower? I'm taking notes. Did you say all that again? But you know, can we just underline something here?
Pubic?
If you were alive before, I don't know, what, 1920 something, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know what you're getting at.
Just life sucked. It was dirty. It was gross. Everyone had STDs. Everyone was wearing merkins. There was no law and order.
People were covered with syphilitic bumps.
Anyway, before this pandemic, we were living in dream times.
In a utopia.
Now it all sucks again. Okay.
Well, that's tourism.
That's tourism. You got through the top 10. Now, before, real quick, I go back through the top 10, I want to read some podcast reviews real quick. Since we're talking about life sucking, these people make my life and your life a little less sucky because they're so nice and sweet. Postal Cynthia on Apple Podcasts says, I'm not usually a fan of podcasts hosted by a couple of white guys.
Whoa.
And couldn't tell you what made... I know, right? Pump the brakes, Postal Cynthia.
Who is going to stand up for white guys if not us?
Okay, so Postal Cynthia continues. Hosted by a couple of white guys, and couldn't tell you what made me give these two yahoos a whirl. Now I take offense to that. Oh wait, the Rona. Get locked up for long enough and you'll listen to anything. But these guys are hella funny.
That's a really good endorsement for us. Get locked up long enough and you'll listen to this.
Yeah, we're going to put that on our website as a testimonial. So she continues, these guys are hella funny week after week. They said something in episode 70 that I've repeated many times since I've heard it, which is, quote, we don't have time for brain using on this show, end quote, with 3 laughing emoji faces. She didn't want to give us a chance because there were a couple white guys. However,
I wouldn't either.
yeah, the Rona made her do it. The Rona makes us all do things we don't want to do.
We've heard enough from white fellas. Well, hey, if it makes you feel any better, I am 1/32. That's one of my parts out of 32 of my parts is a Choctaw Native American.
Which part?
It's mostly my feet.
Oh, God. That I believe. And I'll tell you what, Postal Cynthia, I am not 1/32 like Brandon. I am 1/4 Turkish. What do you think about that?
Are Turkish people not white?
I don't know. They are, I think. Anyway.
You're extra white.
Thanks, Postal Cynthia, for your review.
Yeah, thank you, Cynthia.
I want to read you one more. This comes from Sleazy Bay on Podchaser.
Ooh.
They say, awesome show with unique content and great hosts. Everyone get ready. Turn your volume down here. We got some exclamation points coming. Well put together and definitely something you want to catch weekly. That's from Sleazy Bay on Podchaser. Thank you.
Thank you, Sleazy Bay.
If they put exclamation points, if they're not specific, I have to assume they're yelling. If you want your review read or yelled on this show, go to Apple Podcasts or podchaser.com, rate us 5 stars, write a review. We'll read it.
Or I'll have it read to me.
Yeah, Brandon will have it read to him. Okay, let's go back through the top 10. These are the most visited tourist attractions in all of America. Number 10, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. Number 9, Faneuil Hall Marketplace in Boston. Number 8, Golden Gate Bridge in San Fran. Number 7, Disneyland Resort in California. Number 6, Disney Magic Kingdom at Disney World in Florida. Number 5, Grand Central Terminal in New York City. Number 4, The Strip, the Las Vegas Strip. Number 3, Union Station in Washington, D.C. Number 2, Central Park in New York City. And number 1, with 42 million estimated annual visitors, Times Square in New York City. Our home away from home, Brandon. That's where episode 93 will be yelled at passerbyers.
With just one of those cheerleaders megaphones.
Yeah, but we could also get a routine together. You know, another place to yell our podcast at people through a megaphone is Central Park at night in wintertime, because you know people are coming there to stab. But maybe we can lure them away from stabbing.
I'm looking to stab a couple white guys. Hey, listen to these two.
With the shitty podcast. Anyone know? Yeah. So that's what we can consider doing for the world. But speaking of doing things for the world, and we just finished reading reviews.
Wait, I got a question.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can you hold it? I just got a question.
Yep.
Thinking about getting listeners and getting stabbed.
I want to hear it.
Would you agree to be stabbed in the side with a 1 1/4 inch blade for 1 million listeners?
Well, we already have 1 million listeners, Brandon, right?
1 million more.
1 million more listeners? Do I have a guarantee of living? Or is that
No, you don't have a guarantee, but you'll be...
The odds are good since the blade's so small.
Right. It's 1 1/4 inch. It's extremely unlikely that it would perforate your colon. But it is definitely going to hurt like a bitch. And it's definitely going to bleed. And like any other cut or injury, you would run the risk of infection, which I happen to know you are prone to. Once your skin is pierced, it is very prone to infection.
Wow, okay. Thanks for informing me of that. I don't know. I mean, a 1.5 inch doesn't sound so bad, right? Would you do it?
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, first person to offer me 1 million guaranteed listeners, I will.
Yeah, you're right. I'd fucking do it.
I'll find a strap of leather to buy it, and you can stab me with your 1/4 inch blade.
Even better than the 1 million guaranteed listeners? Think of all the reviews of people kissing our ass that would mean that we could read every week.
For what a hero I was for just letting somebody stab me.
Just like the more listeners you get, the more reviews you get.
Oh yeah, those do make me feel good.
Yeah. So I'm going to say officially, I would do it.
All right, I'll see what I can do about the listeners. I've got the knife.
Okay. Well, we were just talking about reviews, and I want to tell you about a show that is all about reviews. It's the Out of the Sandbox podcast. They feature readings of bizarre 1-star versus 5-star reviews for video games. Listen to this really quick promo.
Hi, I'm Maru.
I'm Katie.
We're video game enthusiasts and host of a small podcast called Out of the Sandbox.
Each week, we try to find the middle ground between bizarre 1-star and 5-star reviews, one video game at a time.
Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast,
or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
That is the Out of the Sandbox podcast. You should listen to it. Brandon, when's the last time you were let out of your sandbox to tell people how to follow us on social media?
I think you just opened that sandbox right now. You can follow us on social media. On Facebook and Twitter, it's 10ishpod, 10ishpod. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And 10ishpod.com is the website.
Yeah.
You can get everything else, including signing up for our Patreon.
Yep.
Where you get extra content and an exclusive email each month.
Holy shit, this is great.
And some other little things in it. And then that's it. That's all you can do.
By the way, don't forget to check us out on our favorite new podcast app. It's called Hubble. Just search for HUBL in your phone's app store. It's a red background with a telescope on it. Find the 10ish podcast on there, follow us, and you can rate and review specific episodes, which helps new listeners decide which episodes they want to try out first. So that's Hubble. By the way, Brandon, how do they find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter. I am at Sidekick Host. Or don't.
And you can find me on Twitter, new Twitter account.
Oh, yeah, you had to get a new one.
You don't have to. I have a new Twitter account, so if you followed me before, you have to follow me again. It's at the Nick Amell, and that's EMEL, at the Nick Amell.
You used your last one for too much nudity.
I got to tell you, man, I was on my work computer recently, and I got on Twitter between meetings and shit, throw up the Twitter machine, see what's going on there.
Hashtag nudity.
No, I just went to my feed, and I was scrolling through, and someone had retweeted something, so it was in my feed without warning, without notice, and it was just a fucking zoom in of penetration in a sex scene. I wasn't expecting it.
Who was it that retweeted it?
I don't remember, but I unfollowed them. I do follow some people I don't know that, like, a lot of times it's like a podcaster that I want to check out their podcast or something,
right.
But
hey, this person had a funny tweet, and then the next week they're like, oh yeah, well, here's my butthole.
I don't think it was them, but
I like it better if they were retweeting their own scene. Have you guys seen this shit?
Twitter's got it. How do you feel about that? How Twitter doesn't have restrictions on that?
I mean, I have a lot of feelings about Twitter. Accidentally seeing the physical act of love is a lot lower on my
physical act of love. Yeah, that's what it was. Love. They loved each other.
They loved each other so hard. And so yuckily. No, I have...
Sex is gross.
Huh?
Sex is really gross when you think about it. No, I mean, just think about sex. Think about it. It's gross.
Yes, I know. Thinking about you thinking about it is making it grosser. I have a lot of concerns about Twitter. Yeah.
Well, I don't recommend opening Twitter on your work computer unless you're
Don't
alone.
use your work computer.
Yeah, just don't work, in fact.
Don't use it.
Don't use computers. The only time you should be using technology is to listen to this podcast and to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
When your boss asks you why you haven't logged in weeks, why you haven't done anything, you say, I don't want to get anything on my computer. It's not supposed to be on there.
Yep.
Just trying to abide by the rules.
And in fact, as a transition, we want you to use technology to find us. But very soon, we're going to be in Times Square exclusively yelling our podcast exclusively. So you'll have to buy a plane ticket. Come see us if you want to listen to our show.
We're going to start retweeting hardcore pornography too.
You can count on it at 10ishpod. All right. I think that's enough for one night.
Well, good deal, everybody.
This is how we celebrated America's independence. Right here, this episode. Happy Independence Day.
Search hashtag nudity.
Don't be an asshole with fireworks.
Good
My
idea.
dog is very scared of fireworks. Don't be mean to him.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye. like to thank Kevin MacLeod for his song Hackbeat, which we found on Incompetech.com for the official Tennis Podcast theme.